Hey there, guys. Octavian here. This is going to be another episode of Challenger Casts, and I haven't been around for a while. I think I haven't uploaded a video to this channel in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, an inordinately long period of time. And I feel really bad about it because I know there's at least a few of you who actually do enjoy watching my stuff, so I like to try and get it out there when I can, but things have been very busy for me lately. There's going to be another video going up on the channel, probably today, maybe tomorrow, that's going to be explaining a lot of the things that have happened. But this one's just going to be a shoutcast of a solo queue game up in the highest echelons of solo queue play. We have some big names playing on the field today. We've got Fnatic YellowStar over there, taking up the Forecast Janna skin, one of the best skins in the game in my opinion. It's so varied. There's so many little tiny things in it that are all so great. We've also got Krepo taking up Leona on the other side, and a few other names like that. I'm particularly interested in the YellowStar versus Krepo matchup. I'm a support player myself, for those of you who did not know, and I'm really interested to see how this high-level solo queue support gets played, because I watch a lot of competitive play. I really enjoy watching it. It's one of the reasons why I got into shoutcasting. So I've seen a lot of team-oriented team play with supports at the highest level, but it's not as common to find solo queue supports playing at the really high level, because a lot of the streams out there are AD carry or mid lanes, jungle. People like to watch the carry streams. People don't like to watch the support streams as much, so they don't get streamed as often, which is a little bit disappointing in my opinion. But here we go. We're going to be able to see this solo queue game with those two high-ranking supports in it, as well as a bunch of other wonderful players. If they're playing at this level with these guys, I am sure they are really very good at this game. Down in the bottom lane, we have a little bit of a push going on from both sides. Getting that early level 2 is very important to any bottom lane, especially one which includes a Leona. And there's Krepo going right into YellowStar, burning him down pretty effectively. He brought the Ignite to this lane. He knew that he was going to be going in. And he certainly did. Traded the Ignite for the flash up against YellowStar right there. Very nice charm, dodging past the minion wave with that one off of Kobe. He lands that onto 706 and picks up a little bit of damage onto his counterpart in the lane there. YellowStar going dangerously low as Vanillion trades back onto Moops for a few auto attacks and a Phosphorus Bomb. We are getting right into the swing of things this game. Up in the top lane, it's going to be an Aurelia versus a Jace. That is a fairly old matchup. You don't see it too often anymore, but they both used to be very popular top laners, so we have, of course, seen it before quite a bit. The range advantage is going to be working in Forbidden's favor up in the top lane. That's why he's garnered such a huge minion wave for himself. He's been freezing, so his minions have piled up. But those are all going to start bearing down on the enemy minion waves over and over again, pushing in under the tower, and Aurelia is quite good at farming under the tower if Blade Surge is used to maximum effectiveness. So she's probably going to be evening out the CS lead there once the minion waves do in fact strike the tower range. Missed that cannon minion though. That's actually a pretty big deal at this level of play. Missing a single cannon minion at some levels of play, not that big a deal, because you can kind of assume that your laning opponent's going to be missing an equivalent amount. But here, every little bit counts. There is the stun landing on Bevan, goes right back into the minions after that, using the reset on the Blade Surge to jump in, jump back out, get some damage back, but still kind of loses the trade, and that's a little bit how that lane's going to be going for Wonderware up there in the top lane. We have the first gank of the game. Balls coming right in onto Fnatic YellowStar. He knows that this Janna does not have flash anymore. Burned it earlier. The Ignites turned around onto Krepo, though he's taking down. He's not going to fall. First blood going over to the Kazakhs as Krepo manages to escape with barely any hit points left. Back to the mid lane, 760 versus Kobe. This Ahri versus Xerath matchup is the only matchup we have yet to really go into much detail in, and that is probably because it's the most difficult to call. Down in bottom lane, we have a very aggressive support AD carry in the Graves Leona versus a fairly passive one in Corki Janna, so we can get an idea of where that lane's going to be going even before seeing how it rolls out. But in the middle lane, it could be that Kobe on Ahri wins that lane by virtue of getting an early level 6, pushing harder, and getting those minions down, getting that level 6, and taking advantage of Ahri's 100 to 0 potential at that level 6 power spike. Or it could be that Kobe isn't really able to play the lane that aggressively because a lot of skill shots land from the opposing Xerath, and he pokes Kobe down, and that as well would be a perfectly understandable and logical way for that lane to play out, so I'm really not entirely sure how it's going to go. It looks like the Xerath is behind a tiny bit in CS, but that's not any really hugely consequential amount, so we're going to get to see how this lane plays out as the game goes on. Down in bottom lane, Moops being forced away from the minion wave, actually. YellowStar doing a very nice job of zoning there, keeping positioning perfectly to toss out a few auto attacks whenever Moops wants to come up to try and farm. And Janna's auto attacks may not look that overwhelming, but early on they actually do mean something. Vanillion, they're getting hit by the Zenith Blade Shield of Daybreak as well, and the Ignite right off cooldown is dropped immediately onto Corgi in that trade. Vanillion dropped incredibly low there. Very, very well played, Leona, so far, coming out of Krepo. There is a beautiful Zenith Blade, countered by an amazing Howling Gale from YellowStar, but we have a gank coming in from the side. Kha'Zix is going to be roaming in from behind Vanillion, realizing he's out of position, turns around to try and get some damage onto the Graves, trade back something, but he's not able to. Meanwhile, the first gank of the game from Maokai up in the top lane. Wonderware flashes forward and finishes off Fabivin. I didn't get to see most of that gank, but it looked like it was a simple Maokai flanked around behind and pressed his W key on the enemy laner, and that is one of the things that Maokai can do. Kha'Zix's ganks, a little bit more finesse required, but Maokai, if he gets into a good position, can simply advance twistedly towards you, and there's not really very much you can do. You're going to be CC'd. I has balls coming in the mid lane. Kobe has hit level 6, and he's going to have to use it here just to try and escape. He was going aggressive, but he turns back around the Ignite and the Orb of Deception onto Kha'Zix. Some good burst damage. Playing out the 2v1 right here. There's the Foxfire Orb of Deception as well. Flashes away from the stun. Not able to follow up anything after that, but manages to escape the gank, and I believe even pulled out the... No, did not pull the Summoner from I has balls. He managed to leap away on that Kha'Zix, so that's a flash burned at least for his time in the middle lane, but 760 is very low. If Kobe can land another charm or even just an Orb of Deception, both procs of it would probably bring him down. But Aya's balls certainly living up to his namesake, coming to the mid lane, dodges out the charm. Kobe looking to just try and make something happen here. Maokai comes out of the jungle to the side and finishes off the kill for him. Now is he going to go into the tower for Aya's balls? No, he is not going to do that because his sapling exploded on some minions, and without that damage, I don't think he really had the capability to dive the Kha'Zix, and he probably agrees with me, turning around, not choosing to go under that tower. Wonderware forbidden up in the top lane. Wonderware's been doing a good job of keeping solid in this lane. Actually has a CS lead and is winning this trade right now. Going in with the ulti. No, one more blade would have sealed the deal, but he did not have that many blades in his inventory. He had run out of swords with which to throw at people. Perhaps if he had used them as swords rather than throwing weapons, he might have been able to make more effectiveness out of them, but Aurelia likes to throw her swords, and it works pretty well most of the time, so I'm not going to question it. We're back down in the bottom lane, where Corki has strapped a Gatling gun to a flying sea creature. Fnatic YellowStar forcing to pop the ult. There is the Leona ult as well, flashed across of it, just to keep himself alive, whereas Fabivin and Wonderware is in the bush. Fabivin does not know that. Now he knows, though, certainly. He's brought down to half health on his way to the lane. Wonderware going to go diving under the tower. He wants this kill. Realizes he's not able to completely dive that tower, though, and backs away after taking a few shots. Not exactly the most well-orchestrated tower dive coming out from Aurelia, but he was far enough ahead in terms of health and in terms of the lane right now that he can afford to take one or two tower hits, just so long as he doesn't do it again. Farming out the minions with that Blade Surge. Nice thing about Aurelia's Blade Surge, it not only refunds the cooldown if you manage to kill something with it, it also refunds partially the mana cost, so allows you to keep your mana bar in a good place. Wonderware going right into Fabivin, and the final blade this time is enough to bring him down. 2-0 Aurelia up in the top lane, and that is the thing about Aurelia. If she gets going in a lane, especially against an opponent that's rather squishy, like a Jace who's building full AD, as we see this Jace is, he's got some mana and he's got some swords, and that's all he's got. It can snowball out of control. She works so well with just one or two items, and it looks like she's going right into that Trinity Force, which is such a strong item on Aurelia. Very many pink wards in that bush. They do not want any enemy vision there. They are going to make sure that they see that bush. That's Tri-Bush down in the bottom lane. They have vision. They have 10 hits worth of vision. That would actually take quite a while for them to clear out. Perhaps a legitimate strategy, making sure that it would last them a long time if they did indeed find those. There is Maokai coming to the bottom lane. He's going right in onto Krepo, and this is the first gank of the game for blue team on the bottom side, forcing away the flash from Leona. That's a valuable asset to have forced them to use, but I don't know if it's really actually worth the Maokai's time, because even without flash, Krepo's probably going to be able to make work happen down in the bottom lane. Oh, unless he misses his Solar Flare and his Zenith Blade. Krepo, come on, man. Skill shots are hard. I can understand. I too have missed my fair share of Solar Flares. It's always a depressing moment when that happens. Kha'Zix sitting in the top lane, looking to get a gank here for Fabivin. He's going right in. Wonderware's got to know a gank is happening. Fabivin would not want to try and 1v1 him here, but Wonderware goes back in for it anyways. He's going to try and finish off the kill. He doesn't quite get it. Just enough lifesteal from that Doran's Blade, and I believe the Dangerous Game Mastery to keep him alive there after Aurelia goes down. He would have fallen to the minions otherwise, but he got a chunk of health back after killing the Aurelia, so probably does indeed have the Dangerous Game. Maokai looking to try and finish off the Jace, who is very low health up in the top lane jungle, but he's also rather quick, and Maokai is a slow, lumbering beast of a tree, so... Oh, he does have the boots of mobility, though. If he's able to proc those and catch up, might be able to find the Jace. He's wandering around the side. He doesn't see in that bush, though. There's a pink ward, so he didn't have any vision in there, and they knew it. He really wants this. He's going to continue the chase. He tosses the sapling over the wall, finds Aya's balls in the bush, and he's 1v1ing the Kha'Zix. He sees that Aya's balls has next to no mana left. He's going to 1v1 him, and there's the teleport from Wonderware as well. Chasing them both away. Doesn't... Mezujali? The European names sometimes can throw me off a little bit. There's the dash in from Wonderware. He's going into the tower. He gets the shutdown gold onto Kha'Zix. Tower shot not going to finish him off, but Fabivin with an auto attack will. Finally getting a little bit of revenge for himself in that top lane there, but... 1-for-1 trade with the shutdown gold going over to Aurelia. I think that's going to be in favor of Wonderware's Aurelia right now rather than Fabivin's Jace. And Krepo has found the nest of pink wards. Let's see how long it takes him to clear that. He still hasn't gotten one of them yet before YellowStar and Vanillin show up to chase him away. But now he knows that they're there, and he's probably going to give it another attempt at some point. I can imagine the confusion that he had when he discovered those. I would have been a little bit surprised as well. We're back down to the bottom lane, where YellowStar and Vanillin are doing some pushing, and we've been far enough into the game here that we can look down at some of the item builds and see what's going on down there on that part of the screen. Trinity Force, indeed completed for Aurelia. That's going to be a big power spike. Looks like Graves is building into an Infinity Edge. Nothing too unusual there. And a Triforce coming out from Xenilian as well, though he has not finished his yet, unlike his counterpart in top lane. Or his ally in top lane, I should say. Kobe forced to pop the ulti to run away from balls. There is his own ball shot back. The Orb of Deception dealing some decent damage to the Kha'Zix. But that is Ahri ulti burned just kind of for Kha'Zix being there. So going to be helpful for 760. Allows him to alleviate a little bit of that pressure that Ahri could have put onto him. Krepo looking to try and get the kill here. He's going to be going towards the tower. Flash burned from Kobe, keeping himself safe. Probably the best decision right there. Krepo looked like he wanted blood, and he had those boots of mobility. He was going to be able to catch up. Dashing under the tower, doing a stun into Fabivin. He's going for the tower dive once more. Gets some good damage before backing right on out of there. Meanwhile, Ignite has been dropped into Krepo in the middle lane. He tosses back to Solar Flare, but it's going to be kind of all for naught. Unless, yes, Xerath can finish off the kill onto the stunned up Ahri. It was not all for naught, and Fabivin flashing away. He gets away with 50 health. That has got to be depressing for Wonderware up there in the top lane. Vanillin got in for the 1v1 into Moops here. He does not have his Trinity Force completed, so at this point I would say that Moops actually has the advantage there. So good job backing off from Vanillin, since the pickaxe and the long sword, I mean not the long sword, the BF sword, there's a big difference. The pickaxe and the BF sword probably going to be offering a good amount more dueling potential to the Graves than a Phage and a Sheen is to a Corki. Not that those aren't wonderful items. Those are in fact two of the best items in the game in terms of efficiency for how much usefulness and damage they output per gold input. But Graves just has such great AD ratios, and he's a little bit better at the 1v1 anyways, so long as he can land all of his skill shots correctly. So, yeah, probably the better choice for Vanillin to back off there. After he finishes his Triforce, it's going to be a little bit of a different story, but we haven't quite reached that page in the storybook yet. Speaking of builds, looks like Leona has gone with the boots of mobility, Krepo wanting to roam around the map a lot, whereas Janna has still only got her brown boots on right now, so not quite as much movement speed on the Janna from the Leona, which is something you don't really say too often. Janna's a very quick of foot there, and are they finally going to kill off the pink wards? One more auto attack. Moops finishes off the last pink ward. The nest is destroyed. It did take them a while, though. I don't know if that's really worth the gold investment that they put into it, but it did take them a very long time, so something was accomplished. There's the Red of the Arcane pop from Xerath in the mid lane, where while we swap up to the top lane, Kobe forced to pop his ult to dodge away from those tiny little shots from long range. Gonna be keeping himself alive as his friendly Maokai jungle comes to the mid lane to try and clear out some of the minions. YellowStar roaming up from the bottom as well. Stun lands, but nicely shielded from Janna. Gonna be keeping some health around there. There's a teleport coming from the top lane as Zaya's balls turns around, lands his passive on wonder where to slow him down. The ignite is burning, but nobody can finish this Aurelia off. The stun doesn't quite connect onto YellowStar, and everybody gets out alive. Just this once, everybody lives. Yeah, not just this once. I've seen a lot of very explosive team fights that somehow ended with no one dying. I always feel cheated when that happens, but I don't know. I want blood. I want death. Krepo, gonna be giving me what I want down here in the bottom lane. He lands the stun on his vanilla, but Moops is too low. He can't really follow up right here, but maybe I has balls on Kha'Zix can. There's the flash burn from YellowStar, and I guess everybody lives once again down in the bottom lane, so it wasn't just that once. Vanilla turning around, doing some good damage to the minion wave, but Kha'Zix and Jace are both here. They are going to be continuing on with the aggression down in the bottom lane. Nice knock-up landing from YellowStar. Tower shot hits onto Pavivin. They're going to clear out the minions here and make this dive really, really difficult for Red Team. Doesn't look like they'll be able to pull it off right yet. Yeah, Aya's ball is going to be heading on back to base. He's sitting on top of a ward, though, so you're going to interrupt that. Vanilla has not been back to base in a very long time. He's been sitting on that Phage and Sheen for a while now. I would imagine that he has the gold for the Triforce at this point. Perhaps he just wants to push up a few more waves, get it under the tower, but if he does do that, he might be in a rough spot. Krepo and Balls are in the bush there. They're going to be leaping out. Vanilla is too low on mana. He cannot Valkyrie away, and he's going to be falling to the damage from Kha'Zix. Maokai coming from the forest to try and save the Janna's life. Going to be turning around with the Arcane Smash, keeping Krepo from running the Sapling Toss as well. But the Solar Flare going to be keeping Krepo perhaps alive. He flashes forward, goes into the tower, and gets the kill. I spoke a little bit too soon. I apologize. Maokai picking up the kill onto Leona, and that is a 1-for-1 trade down in the bottom lane. And yes, indeed, Corki, after having to go back to base the quickest way possible, through Force, picks up his Sorcerer Shoes and his Trinity Force. Picking up the Source Shoes. For those of you who don't know, Corki does do, in fact, quite a bit of magic damage with his kit, the rockets, as well as his Phosphorus Bomb, and in fact the fire that's left behind on the trail from Valkyrie, which does do damage, are all magic damage. So picking up the Sorcerer's Shoes, he goes a fairly normal AD carry build other than that, but it just amplifies the amount of damage that his abilities do, the amount of poke that he can send out. Nicely sidestep there from Wonderwear, but I has Balls is around and he was going to turn around and go in, but his plans were foiled by a Kha'Zix leaping out of the jungle. He tosses back the ulti and flashes away. Survives, gets away to fight another day, but looked like he really wanted to go in right there. And everything just went wrong all at once. Nice stun landing onto Kobe. Q as well. Is he going to pop the Ray of the Arcane? He backs up a little bit. He might be going for that if he can land just a few shots. Kobe flash forward to try and land the Q, but a little bit too far to the left to pick that one up. That's got to be disappointing for the Xerath in the middle lane there. 706. That's a very simple name. It's nice. Sometimes when I watch these games, people have names that are just nearly unpronounceable. Like this Maokai in the jungle. I'm not even going to try and give that one a try, but it's nice to have a name that's just as simple as 706 for the Xerath in the middle lane. There's the Q charging. Ooh, it lands one more! Well, I guess a leap from Kha'Zix is going to be enough to finish off the kill. Killing spree, again on a killing spree. 6, 1, and 2. Was on one earlier, got shut down, on one again now. Wonder if he's going to get shut down again. There's the teleport, but he doesn't finalize. The turret was destroyed, so the teleport was cancelled, but Pavilion still doesn't have any mana, and he's faced with a Maokai with a red buff. It's going to be a slow death, but it might be... Whoa, no, actually, Jace flashes away as we swap back to the bottom lane where YellowStar and Vanilla are going at the 2v2 with Krepo and Moops. The dragon falls to Kha'Zix, taking it down solo. Actually, no, with the help of Xerath, I believe. as Janna falls as well. A little bit too squishy to be all up in that action. Wonderware clearing out a pink ward and going back to farm the minion waves, and so we should take a look at the team comps as they relate to the late game, since we are going to be looking to go a little bit later into this game. It's only a few thousand gold lead on the side of red team, and that's not really going to be enough to shut out this game really effectively. They're going to have to do a little bit more before they can do that, though their Kha'Zix has been performing incredibly well. Balls has been doing amazingly well in the jungle on that Kha'Zix pickup. He's gotten 2 killing sprees so far. He's 6-1. So they do have that, and they can remove the threat that is the enemy Corki with that Kha'Zix. But Kha'Zix is not going to have a very easy time in dealing with Aurelia. Aurelia is very, very good at dealing with those high damage assassins, since she can put out enough damage to take them down while also being tanky enough that they can't just insta-burst her. For we've been finding this Aurelia in the jungle talking about Wonderware's Aurelia there. There's the knockback, going to be speeding himself away with the gates, and okay, around the corner just for the little bit of an assist. Tosses out the Arcane Smash and then leaves the kill to Aurelia. Knows that Aurelia is going to do a lot better with that kill as the game goes on. Aurelia, Corki, Ahri, Maokai, this is a very, very well put together team right here. Because there is no one damage source that the red team can really build against. They have some good tankiness in the in Krepo's Leona right here. Talking about Krepo's Leona, he lands the ulti onto YellowStar. YellowStar flashes away after getting hit by the stun, though, and flashing forwards. Vanilla and really wants this kill. He gets the final auto attack for the shutdown gold again from Kha'Zix. Double kill so far, and Krepo is all alone. He's got a friend coming, though. There's the teleport going to be coming in right behind Vanilla, and as Kobe has finally managed to finish roaming down to the bottom lane here, the charm does not land on him, though, and so he's going to be able to finish off the kill onto Vanilla. Kobe looking to get the ignite kill onto Krepo. Doesn't quite have the damage to take out Forbidden before he can turn it into a double kill, though. And Maokai, he's tanky, but he's not that tanky. He's not going to dive under the tower for this kill. Oh, YellowStar, you are in big trouble right now. Ooh, the slow doesn't land, the Q doesn't land. And he dodges out all the skill shots. Very well done by YellowStar. Still doesn't have any more movement speed than those brown boots and Janna passive, but that is enough to dodge around. As Maokai is forced to wander away here, there's the ulti from Xerath. Can he land the last shot? He does not. I don't know if it even would have killed the Maokai with his ulti running. Meanwhile, though, Wonderware has been pushing up the top lane. He gets some good, well, not even. He breaks the shield and gets an auto attack or two onto the tower, so he gets some damage onto the tower, which I guess is better than nothing. But Kha'Zix shows up just in time to prevent him from doing anything more than that. I was talking about the mixed damage threat here on the side of blue team, however. They've got a large magic damage threat in the form of Kobe's Ahri, who is getting engaged on in the middle lane. There's the Zenith Blade not quite connecting, but flashing forward for the stun anyways. Who needs gap closes when you have a D or F key? I'm not sure which one Krepo uses. D is for deflash, however. That's the one I use. But that's going to be Ahri going away very, very swiftly. There's a lot of burst coming out from the graves, and if Ahri's stunned up, it's not too difficult to land it. Wonderware getting the stun onto Krepo. Ball's going to be wandering back, looking for a good opening to get into this, popping the ulti, turning around when Pavilion shows up and leaping on and dealing some good damage to get the shutdown gold from Maokai's. Wonderware has barely any hit points left. One more Void Spike's going to finish him off, but he flashes over the wall into the chicken camp. Going to be escaping by virtue of Poultry. Manages to run off into the jungle and live. 760 now, popping his heal to keep alive from that auto attack from Vanilla. Vanilla now Valkyrying away, but not far enough away to avoid the Red of the Arcane from 760. The final shot landing onto YellowStar just to add a little bit more damage and get the assist for himself when Kha'Zix brings him down. Kobe popping the ulti, chasing in after 760. The Orb of Deception doesn't land, but that doesn't matter. He had another charge of Spirit Rush, and he used it judiciously forward, bringing down the Xerath. Nice Q from Pavilion. Killing those minions. Yeah. Red buff going to be going over to Balls, taking the time that he knows there isn't very many members of the blue team in the enemy jungle, and stealing away that camp. Just taking one advantage after another. Always good to compound your advantages in this game if you can. Forced to flash over the wall to escape, though, as Forbidden is getting slowed up by this Ahri. I mean, not the Ahri, the Aurelia. They sound similar. They both have an R in the name. Forgive me. Moops getting twistedly advanced upon, and the Arcane Smash going to be holding him up a little bit, but Krepo's here to save his bacon. He comes in, he lands the stun onto the Maokai, but he did not land one onto the Ahri. Ahri finishes off the Graves and is in a 2v1. No, Wonderware's still alive, finally goes down. Now he's in a 2v1, but he finishes off the Kha'Zix. And one more auto attack gonna be taken down. The Leona actually got that bonus AD from the Janna shield. I think that's what made it so that he had just enough auto attack damage to bring down the Leona. So, well-timed shield from YellowStar there. It's the little things that matter. Ooh, that damage from Xerath is painful. That was a lot of damage just there from the central blast from that W coming down out of the sky. Q doesn't quite land though, and if 760 can't hit any more of his skill shots, then he's not going to be doing any more damage. Yeah, the Q flies off to the left there, as Vanillin has been split pushing this whole time up the middle lane. He manages to get the outer turret there for himself. And we should look at some of the builds. Graves finishes off a static Shivan and Infinity Edge. Still has not built into the Berserker's Greaves yet, so Corki's got a bit of a movement speed bonus over him, as do pretty much everyone else, including Janna, despite the fact that she still has brown boots as well. She does have the Janna movement speed buff from Zephyr, so that's going to be keeping her going faster than just a brown boots AD carry. Oh, Wonderwear, bit up a bit more than you could chew, my friend. The Solar Flare comes down, but nobody's really able to follow up on it since Janna and Maokai have both shown up, but Maokai perhaps gone in a little bit too far. There's the Mikhail's Crucible. One shot, two shots, shielded away. The third shot does not connect. Maokai manages to live to fight another day. There is so much happening. Kha'Zix fell over to the Ahri, but the Ahri died immediately thereafter to the Graves. Kha'Zix fell over mid-leap to the Ignite damage. That's gotta suck. He was looking to try and finish off that kill, but he died a little bit too fast for him to do so. And Wonderwear, that was ill-advised. Yes, the laugh coming out from Jace. The full metal Jace skin is a pretty great laugh. Sounds like he's laughing through a tin can. Dragon, second dragon of the game, going over to Mooks. That is a big deal. Dragon has become ever more important now with the most recent pre-Season 5 patch that has given us this glorious, beautiful-looking Summoner's Rift right here. It's very, very pretty. I like it quite a lot. And pardon the mouse right now, just realized that I had not actually rearranged the champions in order of what they should be with the top lane, jungle, mid lane, AD carry support. And so I'm doing that right now. I apologize. I have not done a cast for this channel in far too long. Again, you have my condolences. Unless you don't like these videos, in which case, I don't know why you're even watching this one. Why are you here? Just, I didn't ask you to be here. Just, you can go now. You're free to go. YellowStar, clearing out a ward there. Getting some good vision around the Baron pit. That's the one on that side of the map. Slow landing on a YellowStar, though he turns around the knock-up to try and stop any further chase, but that is half of his health gone right there. That is the downside of playing a support like Janna, who's rather squishy. If you get caught out, even if you manage to escape, you often end up losing half to two-thirds of your hit points, and then you're playing a really dangerous game if you choose to stick around and not head on back to base. But it looks like YellowStar did go back to base after that, getting some good vision around the Baron pit, and then taking some damage, heading on back to base, and coming right on back. Maokai got the buff from the chicken camp. Going to be able to see the next time he gets spotted by a ward, and that is a very valuable buff later on. It turns your smite into a sort of half-red trinket, but there is Wonderwear turning around on the Vivin, trying to do some damage back, but Vivin at this point is able to 1v1 this Aurelia with ease. Tosses forward another empowered shock blast, chases him down. Oh, Wonderwear gets away with barely any hit points. That has got to be a little bit depressing. Maokai and Kobe both roaming down out of the river here. Krepo going to be trying to play some defense for his friendly Jace, who is very low on health and mana, but gets charmed up, gets taken down incredibly quickly as Vanillin finishes off that kill with the extra damage from the Triforce Sheen proc. 760 turning around, dealing some good damage to YellowStar as Kobe is forced to pop the ult defensively, rushing away from the enemy team. That is a 1-for-0 trade total. Support down, so it's not the most valuable target to have taken out, but it looks like Iasbal's how many equilibrium strikes can fail in a row. One because of invisibility, another one because it was over the wall because he leapt, but the third one does indeed connect, deal some good damage under the tower. There's the teleport coming out from Fabib, and he's back from the base, and he wants some blood. However, Ahri finishes off Graves off to the side, and 760 is getting chased to his demise. Corki finishes that one off, and Wonderwear is looking to try and finish off the dive that he started a little while ago. Oh, some good damage. Diving under the tower, flashing forward, going with the Blade Surge as well, and finishing off the easy kill onto Kha'Zix. Gonna take up this tower as well. Surprised it was still up. It's been a long time into the game for the outer turret and bottom lane to still be standing. But it was, and so they're gonna take it down, get that easy, cheap gold right there. Knock up not quite landing, but they flash forward for the kills. Kobe getting stunned up by Krepo. He turns around, he has the Ignite burning double kill to Vanillin. They're going to make short work of this secondary tower as well, since the enemy team is currently aced. Secondary turret and bottom lane falling, clearing out the minion wave. Probably not going to be pushing on to the next one yet, just clearing the minion wave, then backing off since Graves has shown up. There's the Rite of the Arcane, a little bit of an odd choice to toss that one out. Maybe they thought they were going to be dove upon. But deals some damage to Wonderwear, who actually his base is stopped as well by the smoke screen from Jace. There's the collateral damage. They really want to keep following this one up. There's the charm toss back onto Kha'Zix. Oh, beautiful Howling Gale. Amazingly done by YellowStar, predicting the leap from Kha'Zix and interrupting it midway through. Well done. As I said, I'm very excited to see the support play in this game. I still am. It has been nothing short of fantastic from both sides. They have not disappointed. We've seen some amazing engages from Krepo and some amazing disengages from YellowStar. They're playing basically polar opposite champions, and they've both been playing them very well. Pushing up the middle lane here, Wonderwear going right in towards the enemy team, perhaps a little bit too much right in. There's the stun, there's the secondary follow-up stun. However, the ulti from YellowStar going to be keeping Wonderwear alive as they turn around for the re-engage a little bit, dealing some good damage and then backing right off. I would say that trade went in favor of Purple Team, and there's the Zenith Blade into the stun, into a ton of damage from his team. Krepo catches out Maokai off to the side. Well done by him. And they're going to go ahead and push up the middle lane a little bit, then maybe peel off for Baron. We've seen some pings over that direction. Yeah, it looks like Purple Team / Red Team, whether or not you have colorblind mode on, is pushing their way over to the Baron buff. Clearing out some wards, getting some vision control there. If nothing else, maybe going to be going for damage on a YellowStar, though, and he gets taken down nearly instantly by a leaping bug over the wall. Flash forward from Krepo. He is making the plays happen. He gets the damage onto Kobe, gets the CC, and there's the very edge of those spikes from the back of Kha'Zix's rack, picking up the kill onto Corki. Wonderwear gets spotted out by a ward, so they know he's coming. And Krepo follows right up onto him, goes right in, nearly goes down, but the Relic Shield going to be saving his bacon at the last second. Krepo been making all the plays in the last few minutes. They're going to go ahead and take the Baron buff right here. Nothing to stop him right now. Maokai is up and he's on his way, but he's nowhere near enough to go for the Smite Steal. Graves going to be finishing that one off. And that's the Baron buff going over the side of Purple Team. They have a bit of a gold lead now, about 5,000, though we are 32 minutes into the match, and it being such a high-level match, a challenger-ranked match, 32 minutes in, maybe about 33 right now, is approaching the late game because everybody gets very good CS. A lot of kills happen if mistakes are made, so everything gets taken advantage of. Jungle camps are cleared on time, CS is garnered in the lanes very effectively, so everybody has near to the maximum gold that they could have for the moment where they are at in the game. So a 32-minute game in this level of play looks, in terms of items, much like a 40-minute game would in another level, approximately. Blue team pushing up the mid lane a little bit. Perhaps going to be going for some sort of play here. The Baron buff no longer gives free stats, it gives extra pushing power. You deal more damage to turrets, and your minions become far more powerful. So it's no longer a death sentence to try and 5v5 a team with the Baron buff, so long as you're not doing it near a lot of minions, because those things become so very powerful that they can actually do a lot of work during a 5v5 team fight if you fight them in a minion wave or two. So not very advisable to do that. Look at how many hits that one melee minion is taking from the Corki over there, from Vanillion's auto attacks one after another. So, and that tower just melts like butter being attacked by a hot knife. Krepo, ooh, very nice Zenith Blade predicting Vanillion's movements. And there's the Rite of the Arcane going to be finishing off the kill. Krepo goes down for the efforts, but trading support for AD carry at this point in the game is very, very worth it. They're going to go ahead and kill off the inhibitor turret. The inhibitor's going to be next. They bring that one down in short order. 760 brings Kobe down, and Maokai's going to be falling as well. This could be the last gas for Blue Team. YellowStar tosses his ulti just to try and keep them from diving any further. 760 did go down to Maokai's damage right there, but Wonderwear forced to flash away. The last second to avoid going down. IHasBalt has next to no mana left, but his auto attacks are still going to be chunking these turrets down, and those Baron buffed minions are here as well, and they can tank up turrets for days. They are taking them down. 1 Nexus turret, 2 Nexus turret, Wonderwear falls as well, and that is going to be the Nexus under fire. GG going over to Purple Team. Well played by everybody. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you probably tomorrow, hopefully. Catch the video that's coming out. It's going to explain some things.